guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be similar to the kind of videos that I've done of like makeup that I'm not interested in, what's on my nail polish wish list, that kind of thing. I have a list of books that I want to read, which I know is a little bit off of the beauty theme of my channel, but I was looking for video inspiration and I just looked over at my books and I was like, hey, there's a list of books that I want to read. So I wrote a few down and I want to go through them with you. The first one is the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, and this one's The Testament, also by Margaret Atwood. I don't have any descriptions or anything of these books. I'm just going to go through what I want to read. And if you want, you can then look them up after this video. I'll include pictures of the covers and stuff, so you can go and see what they're about and whether you'd be into it or not. The next book on my list is Silke's Journey, and that's by Heather Morris. And then shortly after that is The Librarian of Auschwitz, which, sorry I'm leaning, I actually have here. This is by Antonio Iturbe, and this one says, 14-year-old Dieter is one of the many imprisoned by the Nazis at Auschwitz-Birkenau, but Dieter becomes the secret librarian of the camp, tasked with taking charge of the small collection of precious books the prisoners have managed to smuggle past the guards. But books are extremely dangerous, they make people think, and nowhere are they more dangerous than in Block 31 of Auschwitz, where the slightest transgression can result in execution, no matter how young the transgressor. And this is it's based on a true story of Dieter Kraus, but I imagine just like Silke's Journey and the other one, The Tattooist of Auschwitz, it will be very loosely based on real events and not 100% non-fiction, some fiction to it. Just bear that in mind. Next on my list is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I don't know if you've seen the TV show, but I was really into the TV show. Don't watch it so much anymore, but I really like to read the book. I imagine that I'll be more into the book than I was into the TV show, so You by Caroline Kepnes. Again, this is another book that's based on a TV show that was on Netflix. To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. There's a film on Netflix, or there was a film on Netflix, which was based on this book. And I think the TV show You is also based on the book rather than the other way around. And I know for sure American Gods, the TV show, was based on the book and not the book based on the TV show. So yeah, To All the Boys I Loved Before is a movie, and it's just like a teen romance movie. I enjoy watching stuff like that because it's kind of mindless escapism, but not, that sounds really dramatic, that sounds like I have to escape from my life, but it's not so much that, it's just like I enjoy listening to somebody else's story for a little bit. Okay, so the rest of the books I actually have, and I have them here with me in a pile. So the first one is Surprise Me by Sophie Kinsella, and this one, it says, after being together for 10 years, Sylvie and Dan have a comfortable home, fulfilling jobs, beautiful twin girls, and communicate so seamlessly that they even finish one another's sentences. They have a happy marriage and believe they know everything there is to know about each other, until it's casually mentioned to them that they could be together for another 68 years, and panic sets in. They quickly decide to create little surprises for each other to keep their relationship fresh and fun, but in their pursuit of Project Surprise Me, anything from unexpected gifts to restaurant dates to photo shoots, mishaps arise with disastrous and comical results. Gradually the surprises turn to shocking discoveries, and when a scandal from the past is uncovered, they begin to wonder if they ever really knew each other. I love Sophie Kinsella. I think she's an amazing author. She did the Shopaholic series, which I'm not a massive fan of, but the independent ones are amazing. One of my favourite books is Can You Keep a Secret? Best book I've ever read by Sophie Kinsella. You have to read it. I'll put a picture up so you know what I'm talking about. You have to read it. The next one is Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is obviously something that everyone knows everything about, so I'm not going to read the description, but yes, I've not read this yet, and it's one of those things that you absolutely have to read, so it's on my list of things that I would like to read at some point. This is not like a to be read kind of thing. I'm not going to update you when I've read them. It's just something that I have in the back of my mind of like books that I want to read going forward in my life. I have the first 3 of this series. These are the 6 Tudor Queens series by Alison Weir. The remaining 3 have not been released on in paperback yet, and I'm not a big hardcover kind of person, so I'll wait for them to be released in paperback. I know that Anne of Cleves one is in hardcover right now. The Catherine Howard one is coming in hardcover, so I'll wait for them to be, and the very last one, the Catherine Parr one, has not been released or talked about yet, so when I've got all 6, I will sit down and I will read all 6 in one go. And then I have this one. Everyone must have seen this. The Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow, however you pronounce it. That inspired the musical Hamilton by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I have to read this. I love the musical. I love Lin. I think he's amazing. I think he's super talented. I've got like 10 pages in. It's going to take me a while. But sorry if it offends you that I turn my pages down, but the only person who gets to read my books is me. And I don't mind my books having turned down pages because I'm the only one who's touched them. So it feels a bit weird if I buy a book which has turned down pages, which I can kind of understand like from that point of view, that is a bit weird. But as I said, the only person who touches my books is me, so that's that one. I have Wolf Hall, which I also have, but I couldn't find it in the... Oh, it's there. This is another book that was made into a TV show. This is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. Mantel? I don't know, I can't pronounce names. This is, again, about Henry VIII and his life and various other things. So, if you're into historical stuff, Wolf Hall and the 6 Tudor Queens, must reads. And going along the same theme then, I have the Time Traveller's Guide to Medieval England, because I absolutely love learning about kings and queens and medieval times and stuff. It's my favourite time in history. So, and this is basically a travel writing novel, but it's non-fiction, but it's also fiction because you couldn't be there in person to be a travel writer, if that makes sense. Like, it's from a travel writing perspective. If it was about Spain, then you'd read this and it'd be like, oh, okay, that's what Spain is like. But this is about medieval England. So they've imagined in their head, based on historical fact, what it would be like to be there. And that's what this book is. And this is by Ian Mortimer. And I started reading this, and I got really into it, but it's quite heavy because it is non-fiction and a travel writing kind of book. It's not fiction, something that you can blast through. So I'm going to have to start reading it again because I don't know. I mean, I got about halfway through, but I can't for the life of me remember what's in it. So I'll need to sit down and start reading this again. I have here the Cassandra Clare series, which is the Mortal Instruments series, which again has been turned into a TV show based off of the books. There is a whole series of them. I'll put a photo of the original series, and then there's the Bane Chronicles, which is another series, which if I enjoy these ones, then I might consider getting those. But they're very popular young adult fiction novels, and I've not read them yet, so... And the last one is also YA. This is Moriarty by Anthony Horowitz. This is one of the most sought after books when it first came out, and I didn't read it because it was never in stock anywhere. And this says, days after Holmes and his arch enemy Moriarty fall to their doom at the Reichenbach Falls, Pinkerton, agent Frederick Chase arrives from New York. The death of Moriarty has created a poisonous vacuum which has swiftly been filled by a fiendish new criminal mastermind. Ably assisted by Inspector Athelney Jones, a devoted student of Holmes's methods of investigation and deduction, Chase must hunt down this shadowy figure, a man much feared but seldom seen, a man determined to engulf London in a tide of murder and menace. So that's the last one, and that's all the books that I want to read, like, in the near future or at some point in my life. If I, like, die tomorrow, I will regret not reading these books, if that makes sense. Thanks so much for watching. I know it's a bit different and not makeup related, but it's kind of like a one-off, kind of. I don't plan on doing these regularly, just maybe every now and again. Give you an idea of what I'm thinking about as a person, who I am as a person, give you a little insight into my life. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye!